Hello, everybody. I have another video for you guys. I literally just finished my last one where I talked about GTA 5's director mode. But this is a new video. Oh, and I am going to be explaining Death Row Last Meals. So I have a good list of that, and I'm going to be reading off of who this person is, how they got themselves the death sentence, and what they got for the last meal. So let's start with John Wayne Gacy. John Wayne Gacy was put to death in Illinois by lethal injection at the age of 52. He was sentenced to death for rape and 33 counts of murder. For his last meal, old Gacy requested 12 fried shrimp, a bucket of KFC fried chicken, French fries, and a pound of strawberries. Prior to being convicted, fun fact, Gacy managed 3 KFC restaurants. So what does that tell you? You got a crap load of fried goodness and some healthy strawberries. Next we have Timothy McVeigh. Timothy McVeigh is an American terrorist behind the Oklahoma City bombing. He was put to death in Indiana by, just like John Wayne Gacy, the lethal injection at the young age of 33. He was sentenced to death for 168 counts of murder. For his last meal, McVeigh requested 2 pints of mint chip ice cream. Went sweet and minty. Alright. Ray Rector. He was put to death in Arkansas by once again the lethal injection at the age of 42. He was sentenced to death for 2 counts of murder. For his last meal, Rector mentally incapacitated during his time on death row. His defense team argued, requested steak, fried chicken, cherry Kool-Aid, and pecan pie. He left the pecan pie behind, though telling a guard that he was saving it for later. I don't think you were going to save that for later because you would have already been dead by then. And so I think you left that pecan pie to just rot in hell. Next, Steven Anderson. Steven Anderson was put to death in California by the lethal injection at the age of 49. He was sentenced to death for burglary, assault, 7 counts of murder, and also escaping from prison. For his last meal, Anderson requested 2 grilled cheese sandwiches, a pint of cottage cheese, a hominy corn mixture, peach pie, chocolate chip ice cream, and radishes. That's one heck of a last meal. You got grilled cheese, you got peach pie, you got cottage cheese, radishes, corn, and ice cream. I hope he didn't finish all that. Angel Navis Diaz. Alright, Angel Navis Diaz was put to death in Florida by the lethal injection at the age of 55. He was sentenced to death for murder, kidnapping, and armed robbery. Diaz declined a last meal, so he was served the regular prison meal, which he declined to eat as well. So, Diaz pretty much died empty stomached. I don't know why. He could have just ate something. Alright, next up, Ronnie Lee Gardner. Ronnie Lee Gardner was put to death in Utah by a firing squad at the age of 49. He was sentenced to death for burglary, robbery, and 2 counts of murder. For his last meal, Gardner requested steak, a lobster tail, apple pie, vanilla ice cream, and he ate it while watching the Lord of the Rings trilogy. That's a little bit odd. That probably took like 48 hours. I'm surprised they let him watch the whole thing before they murdered his ass. But boy, I gotta live the surf and turf dream. Next up, we have the famous Ted Bundy. Ted Bundy was one of the most notorious serial killers in American history. He was put to death in Florida by the electric chair at the age of 43. He was sentenced to death for rape, necrophilia, prison escape, and more than 35 counts of murder. Jeez. Bundy declined a special meal, so was given the traditional last meal. Steak cooked medium rare, eggs over easy, hash browns, toast with butter and jelly, milk and juice. He basically got a steak and egg breakfast for a last meal. Alan Lee Davis. Alan Lee Davis was put to death in Florida by the electric chair at the age of 54. He was sentenced to death for murder and 3 counts of murder. For his last meal, Davis requested lobster tail, fried potatoes, half a pound of fried shrimp, 6 ounces of fried clams, half a loaf of garlic bread, and 32 ounces of A&W root beer. Jeez, he went in seafood crazy. Alright, now we have Teresa Davis. Teresa Davis was put to death in Virginia by the lethal injection at the age of 41. She was sentenced to death for murder, conspiracy, and robbery. For her last meal, Lewis requested fried chicken, peas with butter, apple pie, and a Dr. Pepper. Wow. That sounds pretty good, aside from the nasty peas. Alright, and Sacco and Vanzati. We have Fernando Nicola Sacco and Bartolomeo Vanzati. Sacco and Vanzati were put to death in Massachusetts by electric chair at the age of 36 and 39. Respectively, they were sentenced to death on 2 counts of murder. For their last meals, Sacco and Vanzati requested soup, tea, meat, and toast. In 1977, the governor of Massachusetts issued a state saying that they had been unfairly tried and convicted. The case has been open ever since. Now we have Ronnie Threadgill. Ronnie Threadgill was put to death in Texas by lethal injection at the age of 40. He was sentenced to death for murder. For his last meal, Threadgill requested baked chicken, mashed potatoes with country gravy, vegetables, sweet peas, bread, tea, water, and punch. However, Texas abolished last meal choice in 2011, so Threadgill was just given the same meal as everyone else in his unit. Alright, that's basically everything I found on there, but I have one I really want to find. That it involves a pretty insane last meal that you guys are never ever gonna believe. And believe me, you are gonna flip when you find out. Find out just what the hell this guy got. This, my dear friends, is Victor Fugger. Victor was a convicted murderer and the last federal inmate executed in the United States before he got his death penalty. He was the last person to put to death in the state of Iowa. apparently for his last meal, he requested one single olive with the pit still in it. I still laugh at the fact that it went for one single olive. He shows that he ate it and he told the guards he hoped an olive tree would sprout from his grave as a sign of peace. That is slightly insane. Knowing that this guy decided to go for his last meal. No, what? It's kind of weird that he chose a single olive with a pit in it for his last meal. I would never go down that route because I absolutely despise olives. Like, olives are just my worst nightmare. That's basically everything I have. I hope you enjoyed me talking about death row last meals. Some of the insane stuff this guy or these people chose. Alright, thank you. Peace out.